Hello everyone, question 11 says OAB is a sector of a circle with a centre O and a radius 4.7. The sector has a perimeter of 34.3. Find the size of the reflex angle AOB, giving your answer to the nearest degree. Okay, so arc length is equal to theta divided by 360 times by 2 pi r. And what do we mean by arc length? So basically arc length is going to be this distance around the outside here of the circle. So that bit there is the arc length. Now the sector, we have to be really careful. There's a very easy trap we could fall into with this particular question, because it tells us that the perimeter is equal to 34.3. So that is the arc length, let's say I call it L, plus 4.7 plus another 4.7, because basically the perimeter of the whole shape is this distance all the way around here that I'm indicating now, and this part here, and this part here. So what we need to do is we need to say that the bit that we're after, the arc length, is actually 34.3, which is the total perimeter, because remember this is equal to 34.3 minus 4.7 minus another 4.7, and that's going to give us the arc length. Okay, so very careful with that. So 34.3 minus 4.7 minus 4.7 gives us 24.9. Okay, so that's the arc length that we want, 24.9 meters. Okay, so now we can start to sub into this formula up here. So our arc length, we've just found out, is 24.9, okay, is equal to the angle that we're after, theta over 360, times by 2, times by pi, times by the radius, which is 4.7. So if we rearrange this now by timesing by 360, so 24.9 times by 360 and divided by 2 pi times 4.7, then that's going to give us the angle theta. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So we put that into our calculators. That's going to be 24.9 times by 360 over 2 times by pi times by 4.7, okay, which is 303.5. It says give it to the nearest degree. Oh, so actually I think in the mark scheme they said they'll accept 303 or 304, because technically it rounds up to 304 degrees. But I suppose it depends on the accuracy that you've been working to in your calculations. So that's that one, and that's the reflex angle. Remember, is the big angle all the way around here, and because we've got 304 degrees, we've got that one. So yeah, just be careful. There was a little twist on that one that made it a little bit tricky. Rudy invests 4,500 in a savings account. He gets compound interest at a rate of 2.4% for the first year, and 1.8% for each extra year. Work out the value of Rudy's investment at the end of 3 years. So that's really nice. This is a very nice question. So we have 4,500 invested. In the first year we get 2.4% interest, so that's times by 1.024. So that is year 1. And then in year 2, which is going to be multiplied by 1.018, and in year 3 it gets times by 1.018 as well. So you could say that that's the same as 4,500 times by 1.024 times by 1.018 squared. Okay, so that's the calculation. So 4,500 times by 1.024 times by 1.018 squared. Okay, and that gives us 4,775. So Rudy's investments have grown to £4,775.38. Okay, perfect. Right, really nice. That's a gift for 3 marks. Very, very good. Part B. Bruna buys a car for 7,500. The value of the car depreciates by X each year. At the end of 2 years, the value of the car is 4,107. Work out the value of X. So what we've got is Bruna buys a car for 7,500. We multiply it by X, which we don't know, but it gets depreciates that much in year 1, and then in year 2 it depreciates by that amount again, and at the end of this process the new value of the car is £4,107. So in other words, 7,500 times by x squared is equal to 4,107. So now we need to rearrange this in order to find out what x is, okay? So therefore we're going to say that x squared is equal to 4,107 divided by 7,500, and then x is going to be the square root of that. So 4,107 divided by 7,500. So let's see what that gives us. And that whole thing is square rooted. So we need to do the square root of 4,107 divided by 7,500, which gives us 0.74. Okay, so that is 0.74. Now we've got to think about what this means. So it says the car depreciates by X amount each year. Work out the value of X. So X is 0.74. So if we've got 0.74 of the value, that means that the car has depreciated by 26%. Because what you've got to do is say, if I have got 74% of the value left, then 100 take away 74 is going to equal 26. So what this in essence is saying is we have 74% of the value left at the end of each year. So therefore it's decreasing each year by 26%. So yeah, just be careful on that one. A little bit tricky there. Perfect. Right, next one. Question 13, what does it say? It says ABC and AED are straight lines, BE and CD are parallel. BE is 4.2, CD is 6.3, AC is 10.8. Work out the area of the trapezium. Okay, so let's get, it's going to be a similar shapes question, this one. So does it mention, no, it doesn't mention the word similar. We've got to infer that we're going to be dealing with similar shapes. First of all, let's get a sketch going to represent the situation. Okay, so what have we got here? A, B, C, D, E, and these two lines here are parallel to each other. Let's get some information on here. So B to E is 4.2, 4.2. C to D is 6.3, 6.3. A to C, oh, that's a good one, is 10.8. 10.8 is that whole length from A to C. Okay. And we've got to find the area of the trapezium. So in order to find the area of the trapezium, what we need to know is we need to know what's this distance here. Because the area of a trapezium is the two parallel sides added together times by the distance which they are away from each other. Now, I think that when you've got these kind of triangles like this, the best way for us to deal with this situation is to just draw the two triangles separately. Okay, so we've got two triangles that are kind of like inside each other. So we've got A, B, E, and we have A, C, D, like that. So what I've done is I've separated those two triangles. It's like we've taken that triangle out and just drawn it here. And then this is the big triangle without that line in the middle. Okay, so let's see what we can label then. So ACD, we know that that one is 10.8, that whole big side there, 10.8. And we know that that one is 6.3 on that big triangle there. We know that in this little one here, this is 4.2. Now this is much easier for us to visualize what's happening here because we can now work out the scale factor, the for enlargement. So the scale factor of enlargement is going to be 6.3 divided by 4.2. So let's see what that gives us. So that is 6.3 divided by 4.2 is, oh, that's really nice. That is 3/2 is our scale factor of enlargement, okay? So that means that what we can do is we can work out what the length AB is. So AB is going to be the length AC, which is 10.8, but divided by the scale factor of enlargement, because you would have that length times by 3/2 equals that length. So we're going to do 10.8 divided by 3/2, which is 1.5. Okay, and that gives us 7.2. So 7.2, we've just found out, is what our AB is. So that's really useful now. We know that that is 7.2. So now we know that that length is 7.2, and we know that that one is 10.8. We can take those away from each other to find out what our x is. So 10.8, take away our x, gives us an answer of 3.6. Okay, so that is 3.6. So now let's think about the area of a trapezium. So the area of a trapezium is a half A plus B times by H, where if we have our trapezium like this, that's A, that's B, and that's H, like so. So that length is A, that length is B, and these are the two parallel sides. Now what that means for us is we've got 4.2 add 6.3. So 4.2 add 6.3 divided by 2 and times by H, which is our x, which we've just found is 3.6. 3.6. Okay, and that 2 is down there, look. So let's work this out then. So we're going to do work everything out here now. Let's have a look. Okay, so we're going to do 4.2 add 6.3. Okay, that gives us that. Divide that by 2. Times that by 3.6. 3.6. And that gives us the answer 18.9. Okay, so the area of our trapezium is 18.9, and we don't need any units for that. Okay, perfect. I hope you found that helpful. Remember, if you're finding these videos useful, if you could remember to subscribe to the channel, that's going to help me keep on making more videos moving forward. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.